Welcome to Savvy Business, Life Unscripted with your host, Christina Rivera, where our guests share their wisdom and valuable business tips, empowering our audience to expand their personal potential.
Hi, Kimberly. Welcome to Savvy Broadcasting, Life Unscripted. We are so grateful to have here today Kelley, Dr. Kimberly Kelley, MD. She has a rejuvenation center, and guess where, people? In Hawaii. So people who wanted to not only get healthy, but have a wonderful retreat where they can get back to a wellness lifestyle, they can do that with Dr. Kelley there in Hawaii. So thank you so much for coming out here. How are you today?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, you betcha. You betcha. And you've also written a new book, which is really wonderful, The Road to Mana, which I thought was very interesting. I know the Bible speaks about mana, and I'm going to have you share what prompted you to write your book and call it that. But before we go there, share with our audience a little bit about your backstory, what brought you to the world of wellness.
So my story is I always wanted to be a healer. And when I grew up as a little girl, my parents said, okay, if you want to be a healer at that time, you would go to medical school. So I did. I went to medical school. I was on that path, but realized, maybe in my mid-40s, my midlife adventure, that wasn't necessarily what was healing me. And I kind of went through my own little episode of burnout and compassion fatigue, and realized the things that were helping me wasn't necessarily the pharmaceuticals. It wasn't the medication that I was being prescribed. It was actually the things that money can't buy, the things that are free and easy and simple, with like the sunshine, like taking a walk and taking a hike. So that began my journey of trying to help others who may be like me, going through some trials and tribulations in their life, midlife challenges or whatever, to try to discover a different way to heal.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of my journey.
Wow. You know what, Kimberly? So many of our audience members have come on, and a lot of their businesses were started for that very reason. Their life wasn't working. They're on this kind of roller coaster ride,
Right.
and they hit somewhere maybe midlife and realize this is not working. Is this it? And, for whatever reason, you is a life and finding a different way to heal. And for other people, it's like, how can I, create a life that's simple? And sometimes we think, we have to do all these things that make our life so not simple. Get a job, get a big house, and picket fence. And it just leads us to this burnout that you talked about. Now, when you got to Hawaii, why Hawaii of all places? I mean, it's gorgeous, but.
A great question. So I had traveled in my younger years to Hawaii, and I'd always fell in love with Hawaii, and I thought that I would retire here because whenever I would come, I would feel rejuvenated. I would feel restored. So in my transition, I thought, okay, that's where I'm going. That's where I need to go to find my way again, to find myself. And so I did, and it was far from everything and everyone. And I'm not necessarily suggesting that, but it was I wanted to rid myself of some people and some places. And so it was very cathartic, if you will. And it doesn't have to be that way, but for me, that's what worked for me.
Yeah.
And so that's how I landed here. And that was 15 years ago. And I love it. And I've been here ever since, not llooking back. This is home.
Wow. So was it hard to get into the groove of being in a whole new place like that?
Well, at the time, I have three children. My oldest was already out of the house, but I brought my two younger children. So it was just about convincing them. But once we were here, they realized, oh, wow, this is really cool. This is really great. But no, I think the people here in Hawaii are very loving, very gentle, kind spirit. And then you have the water that's very nurturing and healing and washing. And then you have the beautiful mountains with all the energy that the mountains have and the volcanoes. So it's just, to me, it's just a natural place in the universe where we can come and heal. And so it's been a pleasure for me to do that. So, and hopefully others will find that too.
Yeah. And that tell them, because you created not only, your healing there, but you have retreats so that you don't have to live in Hawaii to actually come there and take part in the healing. Share how you go about that, what that's all about.
Sure. So we have retreats, and we actually have one coming up in March, at the end of March. So stay tuned. We'll give you the information at the end of this recording. And we come, and the retreats mirror the book. If you have had an opportunity to mirror the book, there's people from all different walks of life. They come to Hawaii for various reasons, but they come to a place where there's a sage, wise woman, and she kind of guides them. But really, she doesn't really tell them anything. She really puts the mirror before them so that they can see themselves, and so they can realize that really the universe has given us all the power we need to heal and to be healthy. But in our busyness, in our busy and crazy days and crazy lives that we live and trying to achieve and all those kinds of things, sometimes we forget our natural power. And so the book basically, and my philosophy and belief is less is more. We can heal ourselves, the mind, the body, and the spirit through a more holistic way, and very simple. And so we just have to try to give you the tools to do that. Nothing fancy, just same old, it's just nothing fancy, and definitely not pharmaceutical based.
Yeah. I love this. I remember a number of years ago, it must have been my late 20s, I was really frustrated where I was in my work environment. And I decided I wanted to live and work in a Spanish speaking country just to get away from everything. Yeah. And so I did that. I went to Puerto Rico. I said, hey, it's close to the United States, not too expensive to get to and to live in. And you know what was really awesome about that time? For one, it was just a total taking me out of my everyday life and going somewhere totally different for 3 months. But also it slowed my life down incredibly. Because like you said, you get on that roller coaster, you're doing this, you're a baseball, basketball game, kids here, there, whatever. And you forget just to breathe and just to be. And that's what I got. You know, you talked about the healing of water, and Puerto Rico was like that. The sun, the trees, the water. You just remember like, oh, you know, I don't need all this stuff. I don't need a big apartment or all this stuff. You begin to get more like less is more and simple is better.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's awesome. So what caused you to create your book? What was the title? I'm really curious. The Road to Mana.
Sure. It's actually the Road to Mana. Mana in Hawaii, it's very sacred, and it actually means power. And so I wanted to find a way to have others to read it and find out that they have the power, as I was mentioning earlier, the power within to create, to cure, to help yourself. The road to Mana, life is just a journey. And different things are presented to us. It's like the Wizard of Oz. You know, you have the little monkeys, you have the mean wicked witch. But all in all, you still, if you click your heels, I'm being very simplistic, but if you click your heels, you realize that you had the power all along. So that's kind of what I was trying to create with the Road to Mana, that life is just a journey. And there'll be some things that may be a little distasteful, a little scary even. Yeah. But you learn to face those fears, and you get pushed through that, and you'll realize that you can come out on the other side and a lot better than you were. And so that is what Mana means in Hawaii. Mana is the power, that inner strength, that inner wealth, that inner knowledge, that inner being, all that encompasses you within. That's the Road to Mana. And the reason why I wrote a book, it's really a story. I like to tell stories. We like to talk story, as we say here in Hawaii. I don't like to lecture. I don't like a how-to book or any of those types of things. And so it's just a story about 5 people who come together and find a way. Now, embedded in that, there are 5 healing modalities, or 5 tools that we want to give you to help you heal. And those are nutrition, massage, mindfulness, yoga, movement / exercise. So those are the things that we use, but it's sort of hidden. I just don't like lectures. I don't like PowerPoints. I don't like any of that. That's not the way that I learn. That's not the way that I want to teach. I just want to tell a story. So that's how the book came about. I just wanted to tell a story.
Yeah. And tell me, I think that's really how people learn, Kimberly, isn't it? I know for me, things stick for me when they're a story.
Right. There's a story behind it. And so just tell stories, and then you'll remember the facts.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll be able to make it part of you more. And one thing I found for me, one of my favorite teachers when I was studying many years ago flying, is this guy who tells stories while he teaches, but not only tells stories, he makes it humorous.
Right.
So he uses humor and stories, and boom, for me, it was like the best mechanism for really getting the concepts.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about some of our retreats. They're all outside, actually. They're all very experiential. I get bored easy. And so I want to play. I'm just a big kid. I mean, I'm older and I'm wiser, but in my heart, I'm just a kid. And I like to have fun. I like to run, jump, play, and all those things, because I think that's how we learn. Yeah. So that's what our retreats are about also. There's no classroom. There's none of that. If we're out, our classroom is Mother Nature.
Yeah. And I like that you say that, because very many years in high school, we had this teacher who was an Italian teacher, very experiential. We had lot of field trips where we had to take our language on the road. So he would send us to museums where we would connect, watch, looking at beautiful works of art in Italian, or go to an Italian restaurant. We had to order in Italian. Bottom line, he made us live, breathe, eat that language. And, at the time I was like, oh, I don't want to do this, but it really, really gets it inside of you when you live it. You make it experiential.
Do you still remember it now?
Yeah, I do. And it was loads of fun. Loads of fun. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't want us to leave without people finding out how they can get a wonderful copy of your book, Road to Mana. Did I say it right?
Yes, you said it perfectly. And I'll show it to you. Can you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pull it back a little bit so everyone can see a little bit more. Awesome. Yeah. How can they get a copy?
We are on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and look for it. My name is Kimberly R. Kelley. The name of the book is Road to Mana. You can find us at corewellnesshealing.com.
Awesome. And when the retreats are live for next year, they can go there as well to find out.
Absolutely. Would love to have you on the islands. One of the things I do want to remember or mention, you mentioned something about breath. And I just want the folks to know that Hawaii, the ha means breath.
I didn't know.
Means breath.
Wow.
It's breath. And actually, the ancient traditions are that's the way the Hawaiians greeted each other, was they wouldn't, we handshake or give a hug, but they would kind of breathe that energy, to each other, because it's the essence of their spirit. It's the breath. It's the spirit. So anyway, I just wanted to put that in there.
That's awesome. Is the general culture more of a wellness culture? Are people really centric on paying attention to their breath, their spirit, their bodies?
They are. There are 5 main islands. I'm on Oahu, which is where Honolulu is, very cosmopolitan in essence. But as you go off to some of the other islands, the big island of Hawaii or Maui or Kauai, some of the other islands, they do it a little bit more. And then even on this island and some of the more remote areas, absolutely, it is a way of life.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, we got to bring that back into all of the world. Something we need very much right now, wellness and coming back to being. So I really thank you so much, Kimberly R. Kelley, for your wonderful work you're doing with Core Wellness in Hawaii. Thank you so much for coming to share your great wisdom today on Savvy Broadcasting.
Thanks, Christina. Be well. Be well.
You too. God bless.
Thank you. God bless.
If you like this episode, please share. To hear more Savvy episodes and Savvy Biz tips, go to lifeunscriptedradio.com. To become a guest or participate in paid sponsorship, email us at Christina@lifeunscriptedradio.com.